Dr. Martin Luther King's speech at the Washington Monument, when he did call America to task, asking America to live up to its creed, to fulfill its promissory note that it had made to the people so long ago and had yet to fulfill. When he called America to task, there were people in this country that began to listen. There were seeds planted and changes began. But it's been a long struggle, and I want to remind all of you who are immigrants, and I want to remind all of you who are children of immigrants, that the struggles that preceded this immigrant generation were immense struggles. They were struggles of people that gave up their lives. People like Medgar Evers, who was shot in the back by a white supremacist. A cowardly act indeed. People like Rosa Parks, great sacrifices. People that were chased by dogs, vicious dogs. People that were watered down with fire hoses, chanting, "We shall overcome." Not too long ago, I heard that song, and it was a song that I learned as a little child because I marched with my mother when I was about 5 years old. I was marching in the civil rights marches with my mother, and I remember that song, "We shall overcome." I do believe deep in my heart one day we shall overcome. This was a dream in the hearts of people in this country that things could change. And those people struggled. There were people that lost their jobs. There were people that gave what money they had. There were people that pooled their resources, that drove to Selma in Mississippi, drove down in cars to march with Dr. King, people that sacrificed. This is the legacy that we are inheriting. And the American Muslim community, I think, is a new chapter in the challenge of calling America to task. I believe that we are a historic community and that we can help America, become the ideal America that the founding fathers talked about when they put in the preamble of the Constitution in order to form a more perfect union, acknowledging that the perfection was far from there, but this was the desire of these people to form a more perfect union. And so I believe that it's the challenge of the American Muslim community to call American people to task. It's the challenge of us as a community to remind the people of this country, you have to live up to the creeds that make this country a country that has some of the highest principles in human political history. The creed that all men are created equal. We have to call Americans to account. This is a creed that Americans say that they believe and live by. All men are created equal. We have to call Americans to account. This is a country that declares liberty and justice for all. Liberty and justice for all. Not liberty and justice for the people of the Beltway. Not liberty and justice for George Bush and the people in power. Not liberty and justice for all the banks that are being bailed out with American taxpayer dollars. Not liberty and justice for the American people alone, but liberty and justice for all. Liberty and justice for all. Reflect on that meaning for all. We want liberty and justice for the people of Palestine. We want liberty and justice for the people of Kashmir. We want liberty and justice for the people of Georgia. The people of Georgia who have a right to self-determination. We want people of Georgia right now who are suffering the egregious and barbaric attacks of a country that knows it has no right being in Georgia. But George Bush sounds deeply hollow when he condemns the acts of the Russians against the Georgians when we have our own problem in Iraq. And by the way, if the people in America don't know it, Iraq is Arabic for Vietnam. Iraq is Arabic for Vietnam. It's a mistake. It has to be changed. This is what we have to call this country to task. We have to remind this country, and we have to be courageous in raising our voices, because we have every right to raise our voice. We are people of this country. We are Americans. We are people of the United States of America. We have to remind these people that this is a country that declares as a motto, e pluribus unum, out of many one, out of many people, one nation, out of many creeds, one people, out of many states, a United States. This is a creed that America says is a motto, e pluribus unum, out of many one. Thomas Jefferson said that he wanted a country where the Jew, the infidel, the Mohammedan, and the Hindu would have rights in this country to worship as they see fit. This is what America was about from the very inception, but it has yet to realize its own ideals. It has yet to realize its own ideals, and so we're calling this country to task. But as American Muslims, we also have to call our fellow Muslims to task, because we too are a community that is not living up to its ideals. We too are a community that is not fulfilling its highest principles. We're a people that believe in the verse, وَقُولِ لِلنَّاسِ حُسْنًا, speak good to people, speak beautifully to people. Are we speaking beautifully to people? Are we speaking beautifully to people? Are we talking